can take the lead and close us down.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a few questions that came in.
Sure.
First question is, how long does underwriting usually take from application to policy issue?
Most final expense policies are the same day. I mean, really that quick. Same day or the day after. It's that quick. So, because they're really just pulling medicals, they're pulling the medications, and a lot of companies they'll use, a Milliman or a company that pulls that medication right in and feeds it into the application. If there's some underwriting things that we have to get, it could be a day or two, but super fast on underwriting. Well, the fastest product there is typically, other than term, right in that. And lots of times, like I showed you a while ago, some of the carriers, and we can dig into it later, are instantaneously. If you answer all the questions no on the application, they will have 3 sections, and you answer them no all the way down. It's an instant issue there, from the policy standpoint. Yeah, lots of them are that quick.
And the next question is, what's the most common reason an application gets delayed or declined?
So that's a great question there. It is very important that when you're asking those medical questions that you allow the client to let their guard down. So the reason that policies get declined or delayed is because the agent tries to take a shortcut when it comes to medical questions and it comes to medication, because it is sensitive information. And a lot of agents, they kind of stop there and they balk there. And what I find is a lot of agents, they will not ask medical questions and say, well, I'm not going to do the medical questions really, and I'm going to cheat on them a little bit because I really want this policy to go through, and I'm not going to ask the medications because that's the company's fault. No, you're an advisor. It's your responsibility as the forefront of these carriers and of the company to ask these questions. So to become a good advisor, to do what's right for the client and for yourself and for the company, it's better to just say, hey, I know this might be take a little while, but can you bring out your pill box or open your pill sack or what do you take, and get as close as you can the information that will go to the underwriters so that decision can be made quicker and they don't have to go back and look at medical data to try to figure that out. So it can really slow the process down. I would say the reason it gets declined and slows down, if there is a reason for it, is agent laziness. I mean, it's just because the company has to get a good picture of the health of the person, if you know what I mean. So they have to get a really good picture of that, and it is our job as an advisor. And really, when you think about it, it gets you closer to the client because as they talk about medicine, you can do, oh, I take that one too, or well, I take this gabapentin. Oh, you've got neuropathy. I knew somebody that had neuropathy too. As an agent. Oh, yeah. Because people want to talk about their issues. Especially a little older people. They want to talk about. They want to be heard. So it's actually a trust building issue too. You're getting to know them and you're visiting with them, and and so I would say spend a lot of time really focusing on getting that stuff correct as much as you can. And that's going to help the underwriting process also.
And the next question is, what's the best way to position coverage amounts for clients with limited budgets?
So you can do it 2 different ways. A lot of agents go in and go, hey, listen, they come from this side and they go, hey, I want to get you the most coverage, but I want to make sure it fits your budget. Okay. Understand. I want you to keep this also forever and ever. So we want to find a part, I want this to be just as important as your electricity bill, to keep the lights on. I want it to be really, really, that important. So that is a good question there. You can start and you can lead with, hey, listen, I can do it 1 of 2 ways. You can tell me what fits your budget and I'll tell you the maximum amount we can get, or we can go off the other end and say typically we'll run about 15,000 for funeral costs right in that area. We can bump it to 20 or 25, or we can do 15, or we can cut it to 10 if you think you want to be cremated, and then I can price it from that standpoint. So you can ask from either side. You can double ask it. Go, hey, we can either work off your budget to make sure it fits as a very important piece of it that will be paid first every month, because once you lose it and once if you become unhealthy, you can't get it back. You can't get it back, so you lose it, and then you try to get coverage again 2 more years older. It's going to be pricier. So you want to make sure it fits in that budget. So ask them both ways. Would you rather talk about what fits your budget or what you need? So either way, there's no wrong answer there. Whatever you feel comfortable with.
It looks like there's one final question. What objections come up most often during the final expense sale, and how do top agents handle them?
Yeah. So one of the objections that comes up a lot is that I need to check with my spouse. I need to check with my, my significant other. I need to talk to my kids. So they'll, and lots of times when they do that, there could be sometimes you didn't do a good job presenting it, so they want to get you off the phone. But lots of times it is a legitimate objection. I need to talk to someone about it. So I just handle it like this. I'd say, hey, Chris, I need to talk to my spouse, or I need to talk to my dad, mom, whatever. And I say, well, what is their name? Are they around? Can they get on the phone here too? No, I need to talk to them tonight, and then I'll get back with you tomorrow. Perfect. I tell you what I'm going to do. What time can I call you tomorrow? It would be 2:00. And what is your wife's name? Oh, her name is Jill. Okay. So I tell you what, 2:00. Will you and Jill be around tomorrow at 2:00? And I call it 2:00, you and Jill, and set that appointment to where you can get it off your table, get it off your mind, set it on your calendar, call Jill and Bill at 2:00 tomorrow to finalize the application. And here's the second thing you do. When I call you back, Bill, tomorrow, be sure you have your banking information and what you want to set up on the policy and your medications. Talk to Jill tonight. And if you'd like for me to email Jill or text Jill or talk to her, I can. No, I just want to talk to her tonight. Okay, perfect. 2:00 tomorrow. I'm going to give y'all a ring. Do you have a text? Do you get text? Perfect. I'm going to text you right now my name and number and say 2:00 tomorrow. That way you'll know who I am when I call. Okay. And then just set the appointment, put it on your calendar, and you have something to follow up with tomorrow. If he's bluffing you and he's just trying to get you off the phone, at least you have something to set and you can call him tomorrow. If he doesn't answer, try him again. And at that point in time, go on to the next client. You know what I mean? And so, but at least it gives you some clarification. You're in charge at this point in time. Don't let the client be in charge. It's like, well, I'll just call you back sometime next week. No, I can't. I need to set a time that I call you back, because when you're available on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, make sure you keep in charge of that control of the client to where that client doesn't dictate your sale. You dictate your sale, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. So those are all the questions. So with that, we'll conclude this webinar. Thanks so much for joining us, and thank you so much, Keelan.
Absolutely. Let's go serve.
Yep.
Have a good evening.
All
All right.
Bye.
All right.